Hey YouTube, Awesome Rider here. Welcome to my review for Kamen Rider Revice Episode 8. Man oh man, was this a great episode. I think this might be my favorite episode of the series so far. I think it was really just firing on all cylinders of what's working for me about the series right now. The premise is you have the Igarashi family going to celebrate at this resort because the mom is finally out of the hospital. She's been in the hospital since Kamen Rider Saber's series finale arc with her self-diagnosed toku head injury where they just wrap your head up no matter what the injury is. So they're finally celebrating that. Oddly enough, it was reminding me of the recent Doom Patrol episode where they're all at a resort on a vacation. I just recently watched that, so I just was thinking about that. That's neither here nor there, but the point is, watch Doom Patrol. So they're all at this resort, and that sets up the key premise, because not only is it the family there, but you also have the Rider Inventor guy there. You have Kamen Rider Demons there. Do I know their real names? No. Do I care? No. But they're there. And then the Deadmans are there, team rocketing it with a disguise, because they're working for Daiji's demon, and they're going to be taking down the family here. That sounds like they're going to take down the family. It's not a mob thing. And it sets up what in general could be an entertaining episode, but it creates the perfect setup for this episode. And you have Daiji there, and he's, threatening the Deadmans, like, you better get this job done. And he has this first encounter with Demon there, where they're fighting, because he's clearly there to watch Daiji. So you can see the tension already there with the situation, because, like, the family's there on vacation, and they kind of have no idea all this tension is brewing in the background. But it all comes to a head kind of like, I guess, at the end of the day, or the end of the vacation or whatever, when they give the mom flowers, and everyone's just really happy. And the Demon's like, well, this is my opportunity to finally kick my plan off, and he punches Iki out. He disrupts the whole family, he pushes the dad down. We get to see the first official henshin of him since we've only seen him appear. And, if you didn't know, he's based off of a bat, even though for me the whole fin thing makes him look like a shark more so, but he's based off of a bat. Pretty cool henshin. We officially learn within the show. I don't think his name has been said yet within the show that his name is Kamen Rider Evil. And then, Spider shows up, or Demon shows up, and he adds to the fight. And everything just hits the fan so unexpectedly fast. Like, obviously I knew they were planning stuff throughout the whole episode, but because of the nature of the way Rider works and how long I've been watching it, I just didn't expect everything to happen. I thought, like, something would happen, but I didn't think everyone would find out in this episode. I thought something would happen to stop that. You debut his new hammer weapon because it has to come out, and if I had to have one kind of complaint about this episode, it would be shoehorning that in, because we always have to shoehorn in our merchandise. However, on the other hand, it did feel kind of natural for the Rider Inventor guy to want to shoehorn in his device. Like that sounded. He seems to be just taking glee. He's like a troll in this whole situation because he knows all the players and he knows the secrets and he's just watching it play out. So I think the idea that he would be watching this in amusement and then be even more amused by like testing out his new device in this makes sense. But I felt that the hammer weapon and its combined form with the sword or the axe or whatever was like the least exciting thing to happen in this episode because you had so much big plot stuff going on. And then you had two really exciting form debuts, I felt. Because within the fight, Evil gets his hands on the Jackal stamp, and he uses the Jackal form, which I think looks really cool. I think I might like it a little bit more than his base form. Like, the sort of VI visor thing actually almost looks more like a bat, despite being a Jackal. I think it's just because it reminds me of Kiva's visors a little bit. And then we debut the Kong Foruze form for Revi and Vice, which I don't know if it's one of my favorite forms, but I think it's one of the best designed forms. Like, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but I really gush about the designs in every episode review because I think they've just done such a good job of blending together the previous Rider's aesthetics with whatever animal it is, where it's so elegant and it doesn't feel in your face. Like the Geo designs, like literally had giant versions of the gimmick on their shoulders for the armors, and it was just so completely in your face, and it lacked class, quite frankly. And these are just so elegantly done, where it doesn't feel like an in-your-face, like, oh my god, it's the anniversary! It feels like a nice little treat, like, oh, that's really cool. And it's not getting in the way of the plot, and it's almost kind of neat to like look forward to seeing how they blend together the designs. And I'm really hoping as we go forward in the series, with what other upgrades we do, if we base any of them on previous Riders or final forms or super forms, that it retains that elegance and it doesn't become something where it becomes a hot mess, because I really like that. Like in general, but I think Kong Foruze was one of the smartest ones because it takes the fact that Foruze is a bulkier suit and combines it with the fact that Kongs are bulky, gorillas are bulky, and with the big gorilla arms and even the pointy head, Foruze's pointy head leads towards the shape of a gorilla, and I think it's one of the best hybridized ones, especially since there's a couple where you would think, actually, I feel this animal combination in Rider would work better. I mean, they seem to make it work. Like, you would never think of Deno and Mammoth together, and they do make it work. but this is one of the ones where it actually feels like it makes the most sense. You just kind of end on the note of the family just kind of being devastated and the mom wanting Iki to save the brother, and it was just such a good episode. Like, I liked all the family scenes at the beginning. There was a really nice scene between Iki and his mom again, asking about how he's doing with all this and kind of driving home the point of that his character, much like his dad, is more concerned with making everyone else happy before himself. And you have nice quiet moments like that, but then you have the big reveal happening, which again, I didn't expect it to happen so fast. You know, because I'm used to them dragging these things out. Like, when we set up Daiji and him wanting to use the driver, I thought we were going to set up the long game for him becoming a rider. And then when he became one quickly, I thought we were going to set up a longer game, at least 2 to 3 more episodes before we found out the identity. And I like that not only is it subverting my expectation of how fast it's going to happen, and even though I like that not only that, but even though it feels fast, I don't feel that it feels too fast. Meaning, I actually think they've done a pretty admirable job of setting up the dynamic of the family and the brothers to where this felt impactful. Like, I'm not trying to dig on Saber or anything like that, but Saber's early arcs felt like they were doing a lot of tell, not show, where they would tell me how impactful this moment was and how big this betrayment was, and it felt so rushed, like they wanted to get to this point even if they haven't earned it. And within a small amount of episodes, I feel really endeared to the Igarashi family and their dynamic, and they've really done a good job of setting that up and setting up the dynamic between the brothers to where, even though this could maybe use a couple more episodes to feel even more earned, I don't feel like they've jumped the gun. In fact, it feels like because we're getting this so fast, it's so much more enjoyable that I don't know what's going to be coming next. I hate to compare it to another Rider series again, but it kind of reminds me of how I felt during the second half of Drive, where they would introduce something and I would immediately think, okay, this is how this is going to play out. And then it would be resolved. And I'm like, okay, well, this is already done. What are they going to do next? I thought this was a great episode. I'm going to give it the fabled 5 out of 5. Because like I said, the only real nitpick I had was about the axe. But that's small potatoes because I could even figure out a way to fit that into the episode. But what did you guys think of all the big events that went down in this week's episode? I want to know your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps, ringing that bell so you get notifications for my videos. Dawson Rider, signing out.